Hello, welcome to Drive and Strive. Today we're changing a mass airflow sensor. Today I'm going to look around the wind a little bit, so I hope the audio is going to be okay. But we're going to go ahead and change your mass airflow sensor. This is a mass airflow sensor. This is a map sensor. Your mass airflow sensor actually came from a map sensor. They both do the same thing. Both of them, their job is to regulate your air coming into the engine. It measures that, and based off of how much air is coming into the engine, it adjusts your fuel, which automatically adjusts your air-to-fuel ratio, which helps your vehicle run smooth. Now, for this vehicle, I have a code that's been thrown. It's causing it to go into limp mode. I did clean the mass airflow sensor, the one that was on it before, and it did not fix the problem, so I bought a brand new one. They range in prices depending on the vehicle and where you get it, obviously. But let's just go ahead and I'm going to show you the tools that you need. For this specific vehicle, you'll need a flat tip screwdriver here and an 8mm wrench. So let's go ahead and get started here. So before we continue here, I just want to point out I am not a professional. I do this as a hobby, and I do research and I learn. So make sure you guys do your own research on your own vehicle. And if you are not comfortable doing this on your own, make sure you take it to a professional. So let's just go ahead and get started here. This is your mass airflow sensor. On the specific vehicle, it goes airbox, mass airflow sensor, and then going with the arrow that's on top of the mass airflow sensor right there, it leads from there into the engine. Now, before we can go any further and connect any electrical connections that might be on it and start removing the mass airflow sensor, we need to come over here to the battery, and you need to disconnect at least one of the terminals. Now, I prefer doing the negative terminal and make sure that it doesn't get ground out on anything. But you can disconnect both. So there we go, I got my negative terminal disconnected. If you wanted to, you could disconnect your positive as well, but I just went ahead and disconnected my negative. It's right down here, it's not touching anything, so it's not going to ground out. So now we can go back over to the mass airflow sensor, and we can start disconnecting wires. Okay, so now that we have the battery disconnected, we're going to go ahead and start disconnecting some electrical connections here. I'm going to start with this one here on the mass airflow sensor. You're just going to pull up on the tab, and pull up just like that, and it'll come off. And because of how I'm going to disconnect this, I'm also going to remove this one right here as well. There we go. Now, on my airbox, I got some thumb screws, but you can also use a flathead or a Phillips. I'm just going to twist all these off and take this section here, and I'll pull this off here in just a moment. I'll start recording again once I get this. So I have now disconnected, well, not disconnected, I have loosened all of these thumb screws here, and there's a clamp up here. Depending on your vehicle, it might just pop into your air filter cover. I have a clamp on mine, so I'm just going to loosen this guy up. Oops. So once you get the one clamp undone, I like to go ahead and undo the second one here. And if you wanted to, you can undo the one up here as well, but I'm not going to do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab down here. Alright, I'm going to pick up on my air filter box here, and I'm going to disconnect it just like that, and pull this guy out. This screw will actually unhook itself. It's still stuck. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to pull that off like that. I'm going to set it to the side, just like that. Okay, now, you got your mass airflow sensor. I got a little rubber piece that got stuck on there. Alright, now, what I'm going to do is you're going to twist it like this, very gently, pull that out there like that. And there we go, there's my old one. Right there. Now, no matter what part it is that I'm changing, I always like to make sure that the parts are the same. So, I've already went ahead and checked over everything, and they're the same. So, now, I'm going to install the new one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and install this new one. Now, remember, it's got an arrow on it. That arrow represents the flow of the air. So, like I said, it goes from the air box here, into the engine, through the mass airflow sensor, then up here, and into the intake. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push this in here like this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down here. And there is a little notch out for this specific one here to fit in this boot here. So now I'm just going to tighten this down just like this. Alright guys, so now I'm just going to reinstall this little rubber boot here. Make sure you reinstall this in the correct order, or the correct orientation. Since it stayed on here, I'm just going to go ahead and install it right here, just like this. Just let it right on like that. Alright, I'm not going to clamp it down yet. Now, I'm going to take my air filter cover here. Get it down here like this. Pop it in there. Now I'm going to wiggle it in here. Try and get it past anything that might be in your way. There we go. Alright, make sure everything's there. Tighten down the thumb screws. Tighten this last clamp here. Alright, now before we go any further, make sure that the arrow is facing towards the intake. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and start reconnecting our wires. So one there, and one there. Now we're going to reconnect this battery. So we're going to take whatever wire you disconnected, you're going to put it back where it goes. I like to hand tighten them as much as I can before I put a wrench on it. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to put my wrench on it here. Alright. There we go. She's tight. Now all it's left to do is start up the vehicle and hope it fixed it. Well, there you guys go. That's how you change your mass airflow sensor. It's actually really easy. It just takes a couple basic tools here. It didn't take me very long at all. It probably only took me about 5 minutes, even with filming, which by far I think is amazing. Some people can do it in less, probably. But once again, I'm not a professional, so make sure you do your own research. And if you're not comfortable doing it, make sure you take your vehicle to a professional to get it fixed. That's going to be it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Drive and Strive. Make sure you go follow me on Instagram at Drive and Strive if you guys want to be informed on what I'm doing before YouTube. And I'll see you guys next time.